What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. And then last but not least, make sure you turn on your notifications to ensure that you get notified every time I go live or every time I do a live stream, drop a video, all of that type of stuff, right? But I've seen a lot of responses to my no sleep video. And my no sleep video was basically a video that I made that highlighted how on a regular basis, in most instances, I only get about 3 hours of sleep. Now, a lot of people are going to say, Anton, you got to get more sleep. You got to do it. You got to do it. Well, that's hard to really break down, right? Because think about it. You got multiple businesses, and you also have people that are depending on me in order to ensure that they can feed their families. Because there's a lot of people that work for me both here onshore and offshore, because I have a company in which I employ offshore people. And so not only is it in my best interest to make sure that I'm taking care of business, but it's in the best interest of other people. Now, some people are going to say, Anton, you need to delegate. This is largely a problem that I ran into at the restaurant. One of the issues with delegation is that nobody is truly going to love your stuff as much as you do. So it's hard to detach yourself or put processes in place to ensure that people don't do the worst things or they don't mess up. It's almost like you got to dummy proof things. Now, the real question that you guys should be asking is, Anton, how do you vet effectively to find the people that are supposed to be working for you in the first place? That's a better question. It's not just getting delegation. It's not just putting out a job posting and hiring somebody. I am not Apple, right? I do not have enough buffer for people to be over there fucking me over and then taking all of the money. These people is out here driving like banshees. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to getting in cars anymore that make that type of noise. But let's get back to the point at hand. First and foremost, no matter what you do, especially when you get into brick and mortars, one of the biggest things is that most people, overwhelmingly the most people, are not going to do the thing that's in your best interest. Really? They're not going to do the thing that's in your best interest. They're going to do the thing that's in their best interest. Now, what they don't know is what's in their best interest is what's in my best interest, right? Because me putting myself, look at this POS. This is an old Dodge Dakota that is driving like they ain't got no sense. Pretty insane, yo. But what's in their best interest is in what's in my best interest is in what's their best interest, because I'm the one that's going to ensure that they're successful. When you do the thing that you're supposed to do, you're going to get rewarded. You're going to get promoted. I'm going to make sure you get to the bag. I'm going to make sure that you're an equity partner and what we doing. But you don't do that because you don't have that vision. And I don't want you doing it just for the wrong reasons. I want you to do it because you're actually a genuinely good person. You in a restaurant business, man, they will steal you blind. You in any cash business, they will figure out how to pocket that money because in their eyes, you making money anyway. They don't give a F about you. They don't care about you, none of that, right? And so a lot of times, the question isn't whether or not you can hire somebody. Yeah, you can always hire somebody. But it's if you can vet effectively for the people that should be working for you in the first place. Most small business owners, they didn't actually create a real business and looking at it from a business perspective. They created another job for themselves. Facts. They created another job for themselves. So they're not necessarily business-minded people. They're a person that was able to create another source of income that then takes up the majority of their time, so they're not able to expand and things like that. And that's the biggest problem that you run into, right? Can you scale big enough to where you can buffer yourself from the problems that people pose when they wind up working for you? Or do you have the capacity to be able to be a little bit more hands-on and ensure that you making all of the money and that you're successful across the board? I try to take a little bit of both. I try to be very temperate and I try to be in the middle, and that I am hands-on in all of my stuff. I'm hands-on when it comes to my finances. I'm hands-on. I got an accountant, absolutely. I got a tax strategist also. But I also need to understand the tax code because I want to know that you're doing what you're supposed to do, because ignorance of the law or just because they mess up does not absolve you from being able to owe the IRS. So I want to know everything that goes on. When you see these rappers, when you see these entertainers, Steve Harvey talked about it. When you see them getting robbed blind, it's because they didn't know nothing and they just blindly trusted in the people that they hired to do their jobs. And I've learned from their mistakes, I'm never going to fumble that bag. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to. And I have to ensure that I'm doing the thing that's in my own best interest. Look at that lake. Very, very nice. They got a house being built right over there. Very nice. But I think that the biggest problem that a lot of small business owners are facing today is the employees and finding the right people to work for them. Again, it's not just finding anybody to work for you, it's finding the right person to work for you. And I have very, very high standards for the people that I work with. I don't even say that work for me, I say the people that I work with. I have very high standards because I take care of my people. And the people that rock with me, they wind up rocking with me for a long time. I mean, practically forever. I wind up always doing business with them or always have a relationship with them, and that's how I roll with people, right? I don't have a temporary thing for the people that I roll with. For me, it's always about, making sure that I add the most value into your life, and I got to know that you're the right person for the job at that. So I do keep an eye out. I guess my hiring practices are a little bit different than most people. I don't look for people to put in place the jobs. I just naturally, find people based off of if you in my network, if I always have a conversation with you. Sometimes I might, just wind up having a conversation and it's like, hey, wait, you interested in doing this? And that's how it always starts off. It's never, hey, I'm about to put out an ad or I'm about to find somebody. It's always an organic thing in which I find the right people for the right environment or the right situation. And I don't know how I do it, right? I don't know how I find the people that wind up being awesome. I don't know how I find the right content creators. I don't know how I find the right people to work for me in the most jobs. But it's got to be organic because I got to genuinely like you and rock with you. And I know that if you have other specific businesses in which you scaling out really, really fast, you're just hiring people based off of talent. I hire people based off of character because I always believe that I can teach people the other side of it. And it's not a requirement for you to be all talented in all things when I meet you, right? You got to be coachable. You got to have good character, which means that you do the right thing even when nobody is looking. And, I just got to genuinely like you. What you guys are going to find out is that your success is largely going to be based off of whether or not people like you and not if you putting together the best product. But I got to get to work. I got to get back in here. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. I got the Charleston White full interview that's in there. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And then in addition to that, make sure that you, if you need to get in touch with me, make sure you email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com, and we're going to make sure that you get set up for a Zoom call or a phone call, all right? I love you. I appreciate you. Do not hire people or work with people based off of whether or not you think they're good businessmen or they're good for the job, just based off of skill set. You're going to be disappointed every time. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm telling you, it does not work out that way. The best people for you are often at times the people that actually have good character and good work ethic and are coachable. Everybody in a rush today. I guess the kids went back to school. Almost all of the kids went back to school. My daughter certainly did. And then everybody is driving like banshees out here. Y'all don't get in no trouble. Don't get too caught up out in these streets, man. Be careful. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm on your way out the door. Subscribe to the channel again, and then turn on your notifications. I love you. I appreciate you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What are the best hiring practices, or what do you think are the best hiring practices? And should I replace more people or should I hire more people to replace me when doing the jobs that I want done that I don't necessarily have the capacity to fill? And I love what I do, so it's hard for me to take my hands off of it. But it's one of the problems that I've always had, and I don't always have all of the answers. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.